Thank you for joining this lesson. We're going to discuss matrices. Given that A equals to 3, 4, 2, 3, find the inverse of A. Find the inverse of A. So A is a matrix, and we are now going to find the inverse of matrix A. So the first thing to find should be determinant. The determinant of matrix A, which is the product of the elements in the leading diagonal, that is 3 by 3, minus the product of the elements in the other diagonal. So we have 9 minus 8. This will give us 1. Therefore, for us to get the inverse of a matrix A, written like that, then we need to interchange the elements in the leading diagonal. We change their positions. If it is 3, it takes this position, and the digit here takes the upper position. Now that they are both 3, then we just write 3 and 3. But the point is that we are interchanging the elements along the leading diagonal. Then for the other diagonal now, where we have 2 and 4, we just change their signs. If this is a 2, now it becomes negative 2. If this is a 4, it becomes a negative 4. Then we divide each element with the determinant, and the determinant is 1. So when everything is divided by 1, it just remains the way it is. So by such doing, we have already obtained the inverse of matrix A. Part B. 2 colleges, Utalii and Uduma, purchased beans and rice. Utalii bought 90 bags of beans and 120 bags of rice for a total of 360,000 Kenya shillings. Uduma bought 200 bags of beans and 300 bags of rice for a total of 850,000 Kenya shillings. Use the inverse of A obtained in A above to find the price of 1 bag of each item. So what we should do, in the first place, we should come up with simultaneous equations to represent the information above. So the information says that Utalii bought 90 bags of beans. We can let the price of a bag of beans to be B and a bag of rice to be R. So 90 bags of beans, 90, each bag costing B, and 120 bags of rice, each costing R. This gave a total of 360,000. That is equation 1. Equation 2 for Uduma now, 200 bags of beans. So 200 bags of beans. So 200 each costing B. And the others are 300 for rice, each costing R. They costed a total of 850,000. So these are the raw equations that represent the information up there. But now we are to use the inverse of A obtained. That means when we extract what we call the coefficients matrix from the given equations, then we should have the coefficients matrix looking like matrix A given there. That means we have to simplify these equations. And equation 1 can be made to its simplest form, whereby I can divide through by 30 to have 3b plus 4r equals to 360,000 out of 30. This gives us 120,000. 12,000. Then finally, we can divide this by 100, whereby we will have 2b plus 3r. This is equivalent to 8500. Yeah, because 2 zeros cancel. So these are now the equations in their simplest form. Now, at this point, we should know that when we extract what we call coefficients matrix, we're going to extract 3, 4, 2, 3. 3, 4, 2, 3. That is the first step. We extract coefficients matrix. The next is the variables matrix, which is B, R. That is a variables matrix, which is a column matrix. This is equal to the constants matrix, and this is 12,000 and 8,500. So now we have a matrix equation. This is a matrix equation. For us to solve a matrix equation, there is something we should do, and that is we should multiply both sides of the matrix equation with the inverse of the coefficients matrix. So the inverse of this matrix, which we are calling the coefficients matrix, should multiply both sides of this equation. That means we should have 3, negative 4. This is now the inverse of this. Negative 2, 3, multiplied by 3, 4, 2, 3. Then we multiply this by B, R. This is equivalent to, we also multiply this side with 3, negative 4, negative 2, and 3. Then now this is being multiplied by 12,000, and this is 8,500. So now after that, we should now carry out the multiplications. This is a matrix and its inverse, and we should know that when a matrix is multiplied with its inverse, the answer is usually the identity matrix. Identity matrix is the matrix which is having 1 in the leading diagonal and zeros elsewhere. This matrix 1, 0, 0, 1, such that in the leading diagonal we have 1 and zeros elsewhere, times B, R. This is equivalent to, let us carry out the multiplication on now the right hand side. So we'll have to multiply each row and the column here. 3 times 12,000 and negative 4 times 8,500. So we'll have 3 into 12,000, then minus 4 into 8,500. This is giving me 2,000. Then at this point we shall have negative 2 and 12,000, then 3 with 8,500. So negative 2 times 12,000 plus 3 into 8,500. This is giving me 1,500. Something else we should know is that the identity matrix, abbreviated capital I, when multiplied with another matrix, the other matrix remains the way it is. Therefore, 1001 multiplied by BR, we'll get BR. So this matrix will just remain the way it is. This is equivalent to 2,000 times 1,500 or 1,500. Therefore, that is the end step, whereby we should now conclude that B, the price of a bag of beans, is 2,000, and R, the price of a bag of rice, is 1,500. So that is how we obtain the price of one bag of each item. Finally, we got a part C here. The price of beans later decreased in the ratio 4:5, while that of rice increased by 20%. A businessman bought 20 bags of beans and 30 bags of rice. How much did he spend? How much did he spend? So we will have the beans price decreasing in the ratio 4:5. So 4:5. That is for beans, therefore 2,000. So 2,000 changes in this ratio. In other words, when it is a decreasing ratio, we multiply with the ratio such that the larger proportion is on, the smaller proportion is on top and the larger one is at the bottom because it is a decrease. So 4 out of 5 by 2,000, this becomes 1600. So the bag of beans costed 1,600, while that of rice increased by 20%. So it became 120% of what it was, and that is 1,500. So it will become, when we take 120% of 1,500, this becomes 1,800. 1,800. Now, a businessman is buying 20 bags of beans, each costing 1,600, and 30 bags of rice. 30 bags of rice, each costing 1,800. How much is he going to spend? Therefore, the total expenditures will be 20 into 1,600 plus 30 into 1,800. This is going to give us 86,000 Kenya shillings. So this is the amount of Kenya shillings, or money in Kenya shillings, that the businessman is going to spend. Thank you for following. Subscribe and share.